Hey, good morning. Happy Wednesday. This get over the hump day, whatever we want to call it. So this past weekend, I experienced an incredible conference. I learned so much, but there was a moment at this conference that I got slapped like square in the face, and it sucked. And I learned a really valuable lesson, and it gave me a lot of insight into myself and insight into a lot of you out there, a lot of you that I have talked to individually, and just a lot of people in general. Hey, Sarah, what's up? So I want to share with you what happened. So I'm at this conference, and there's a speaker, and he is talking about a particular program. It involves software. It involves training materials. It's this really incredible system that, if utilized and implemented properly, has the ability to take my business to an entirely new level. But it's not inexpensive. It is a lot more money than I've ever spent on anything just for myself, ever, right? And I'm sitting there next to my best friend, and we both listened to the same presentation, and we're kind of like, talking to each other during it. We're like, is this something that we can do? Then part of my brain is like, well, some of those things I can do them cheaper, but this is all together. So you're kind of going through that whole process, and then they hit you with the price. And immediately I was like, nope, I'm out. And then we're done, and she said, okay, are you going to go get it? And I looked at her and I was like, yeah. Now fortunately I have the benefit of sitting there next to my best friend. And so we get to talk through it. Do we think this is something that legitimately could work for us? Do we think this is something that we can do? Do we think this is really something that can take us to a new level? So it's not just me independently, rushing to the judgment. We get to talk it out, and we talk it out and we agree. This is something that's awesome. And I was like, I just don't think I can do it. And I flat out, without hesitation, was like, there's no way my husband will let me. Flat out just said, yeah, no, he's not going to go for it. And then she just kind of stared at me. And I was like, what? I was like, well, I at least have to talk to him. I mean, legitimately, the amount of money we're talking about, you don't just do without speaking to your spouse. But I immediately was like, he doesn't support me in this. He's not going to go for this. And that's a crock of crap. He's never said that I couldn't do any of the things that I've wanted to do. When I wanted to go away, he was like, yeah, go away. It was absolutely ridiculous, the things that I was saying. And it was because, so the lesson was, I was scared shitless. I was scared that I was going to spend all of this money, and I wasn't even worried about losing the money. I was worried about doing it and then failing. Straight up. I was like, this is awesome. This is going to work for all these other people. I just saw all the testimonies. I know it's going to work for my best friend, because she straight up is she makes shit work, right? And so I was scared and overwhelmed and didn't know what to do. And finally it was like, I need to do what I keep telling people to do, and that's invest in themselves. It's time that you get to a point in life where you got to poop or get off the pot, right? You just got to do it. And I might do this, and I might put my whole heart into it, and I might fail miserably, but I need to at least try it, right? If I don't try it, how will I ever know? And me not trying it means that I'm selling myself short. Me not trying it means I'm not giving myself the full opportunity to reach my potential. And when you get asked that question in life, what are your biggest regrets and whatnot? To me, the biggest regret is unrealized potential. It's not realizing the potential that you have inside you. It's not realizing the potential of people around you and helping them reach their potential. And this has the potential for me to reach a whole bunch more people. So I call him, and of course it's one of those, you got to do it, but by the time lunch is over or the deal is gone, right? It's the slick salespeople. And my husband's asking me these questions, and they're legitimate questions, because again, we're talking about a lot of money. And, it comes down to, I'm trying to explain it. I'm getting super frustrated, but I would be a way bigger jerk on the other end of the phone. And I'm in this big stadium arena. It's super loud. And I get off the phone and I feel like I'm going to throw up. My best friend looks at me and she's like, what's wrong? I'm like, I don't know. I freaked out. I don't do well in crowds. I was it was that time of the month. I was cramping. I'm sick to my stomach. And I was like, nope. And I told her, I was I need some time. I need to just walk around this place. I'll catch up with you guys later. And I went ahead and I went and got it. And I invested a lot of money. But I invested it in me. And that's plain and simple what it comes down to. There comes a time where you need to realize, and this is the lesson that I want you to take, realize what the underlying issue is. For me, the underlying issue for this particular thing was not the cost. I immediately said it was the cost. That's my gut reaction. This was like, this is a cost thing. And the reason I want to share this is because I've talked to you. I've talked to you about jumping in with the stuff I'm doing. You've come to me and you've told me, I need to make a change in my life. I need to get healthier. I need to start working out. I need to start moving. I need to do these things. And you've talked to me and we've gone through the system. And then you say no in the end. And you say no, and you say no because it costs too much, which we know it's not. We know that's not the case. Because if you break it down, for a month, you can do $4 a day. It's not even, like $4 or $5 a day for like a month, right? Or you blame your husband, which was my immediate gut reaction. My husband will never let me do this. When has my husband denied me the opportunity to do something that matters to me? If your spouse is going to deny you the opportunity to get healthy, you need to have a really legitimate conversation with them. Like a sit down, come to Jesus, like conversation, right? And figure it out. Figure out, is this doable? Is this manageable? I want you to learn from my lesson, not because I want you to buy something from me, but because I want you to look and get to the heart and the root of what it is that's holding you back. Because probably nearly 100% of the time, without any research to back this statement up, but probably more often than not, definitely more often than not, the underlying root cause of why you're saying no to something is fear. It's easy to say money because nobody wants to push back on money. I mean, my friend, she pushed back on me. She's like, really, is it about the money? And she almost, she doesn't just have all this disposable income either. She left a 6-figure job to do the stuff that we're doing. But it was that pushback and that reminder. Like, what is this about? And is this worth it? And so when we're facing it, it's getting, again, to the heart of the issue. The other thing that's so valuable to me and why I know that I'm going to be successful. Now, what that success looks like in this, I don't know what it's going to be. I don't know if I'm going to make all the money that, the hope is when you purchase the product and the software and all the things, right? But I know that I was at least successful in giving myself the best opportunity to succeed. That I said, I'm worth this amount of money. I'm worth more than that amount of money. I've surrounded myself with the right people. And that's so huge. I have the right supports. Now, if my best friend wasn't doing this, I would have probably been more hesitant. But knowing that I have somebody that I'm doing this alongside makes that fear less. It lessens it. When you talk to me about doing this program and being scared about doing it, you're not doing it alone. You're doing it alongside me, and you're doing it alongside a whole team of people that is going to be there to support you. When you do something alone, it's scary. This is less scary to me. This investment was way less scary because I'm doing it alongside my best friend. You need to look at why it is that you want to start doing this as you're making these scary decisions. Why I want to do this outweighs that potential loss. If I don't succeed in this, my reasons for doing this is worth way more. You do that cost benefits analysis. The other thing is the upside, what the potential gain is so much more than later that small amount of money. And that's the same thing when you talk to me about jumping in with one of my programs. You're going to get stronger. You're going to gain discipline. You're going to gain strength. Whether or not you hit the goals that you set, you're going to be better for it. But the potential that you can lose the extra 20 pounds that you've been carrying around that you haven't been able to get rid of, the potential that you're going to become part of a community and a team that you've so desperately been looking for, the potential that you're going to have the energy that you haven't had, that you're going to feel alive again, that cost benefit, you've got to take it into account. And then being willing to walk the talk. I had to make that investment in me because I've been talking to you about making an investment in you. And how dare I suggest that you do something that I'm not willing to do myself? And I want you to think about that when you talk to me about doing these programs and you talk to me about wanting to take care of yourself. What happens when your, son or daughter or niece or nephew or best friend is coming to you and you're like, well, you should do this. You need to invest in you. You need to see your value and your worth, when you're not doing it. And that was the last piece to my puzzle. How dare I not do this for me? How dare I not invest in myself when I talk to people every day about making an investment in them that's scary? So the moral of my story is, I get it. I get where you're coming from. I see you out there. I see how scared you are. I see the games that we play and the justifications that you make because I make them. I blamed my husband. I blamed money. I made all the excuses. I can justify anything. And when it came down to it, I was chicken shit. I was a scared little girl that was afraid and for a moment forgot my worth and forgot my value and forgot that I am made for bigger and better things. And so are you. So I hope that you can take a piece of that story. I hope that if we've already talked, that you reach back out to me and say, let's talk again. Let's figure out if what you're inviting me to is something that's going to be a good fit for me. And the last thing that helped all of it in the end was this big thing that I purchased does have a 30-day money-back guarantee. So basically, I can look through it. I can figure it out. I can dive into it and see, is this something that I'm going to be able to handle and do? And if it's not, I get my money back. And that's the exact same offering that I have on the programs that I've talked to you about, on the nutrition products that I've talked to you about. Exactly the same thing. And as soon as he made that money back guarantee pitch in this puzzle, I knew I had to try it. And that's all I want for you, is for you to try. Is for you to look deep down inside, put your fear to the back burner, and look at all the reasons that you're worth it. Stop making excuses. Stop blaming your spouse. Stop blaming the funds. Set the example and take care of you. So that's it. With that, I'm going to go eat some food because I'm starving. And then I've got to get to work because I need to learn this stuff that I just paid a lot of money for and start implementing it. So if you got questions for me if you want to know more about what the heck it is that I did, I will gladly share all that. There's no secrets. But if you want more information on my next group, on this next piece of the puzzle that could be huge for you, please reach out to me. I'm going to reach out to you. But if for some reason I don't get to you fast enough, talk to me because I have a new group that's getting ready to start. And I want you in it. It's time. It's time. We are now into the second month of the year, and I don't want you to not realize your potential. I don't want you to regret a couple months down the line that you didn't start. All right. You guys have an awesome, awesome day.